would I give to you? Be you in charge, or I would follow you in charge. Now I would follow you now, certain that your direction gives me peace, certain that your direction gives me peace. This holy instant would I give to you? Be you in charge. Now that we're coming to the end of this millennium, we're getting ready and prepared to meet our Creator. And as we join each other's hands and let go of everything that separates us, we're going to start remembering who we really are. And as this memory springs to our minds, the joy, the peace, and the love that we're going to feel is going to totally overwhelm us as God takes that final step, taking us home. Welcome to A Course of Love. This holy instant we're going to give to love. Thank you, Dharma, for sharing the video. To Leisha, Nancy, Andrea, Talisha, Chris, Tabitha. I want to welcome you to A Course of Love. I want to welcome everybody online to A Course of Love, to A Course of Love. You don't have to believe the ideas, you don't have to accept the ideas, you don't have to welcome the ideas. Just open your mind. If you use these ideas, you will see that these ideas are true. Because I would follow you, Holy Spirit, higher power. I would follow you, God. I want to follow you, God. I'm going to follow you, love. Hello, Pat. Thanks for sending out all the hearts. Let's send out the hearts to each other. Let's send out the hearts to each other. Welcome to A Course of Love. A Course of Love. This holy instant would I give to you. Be you in charge. 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 Holy Spirit, be you in charge. Be you in charge. Be you in charge. Be you in charge. Be you. Welcome to A Course of Love. I need not. You need not. You need not. You need not believe the ideas. I need not believe the ideas. Listen. I need not accept the ideas. I need not accept the ideas. I need not accept the ideas. Guess what? And none of this will matter. Doesn't matter if you accept the ideas. Doesn't matter if you believe the ideas. None of this will matter, no. Because the use will give it meaning, the use, right? And show you that the ideas are true. If you use it, you will see that the ideas of A Course of Love are true. If you use it, you'll see that the ideas of A Course of Love are true. I need not welcome the ideas. You need not welcome the ideas. You need not welcome the ideas. You don't have to welcome it. You don't have to accept it. Some of these ideas are going to actively resist. Some of these ideas you're going to actively resist. Some of these ideas you're going to actively resist. Guess what? None of it will matter. None of it will matter. None of it will matter. No. Guess what? Because the use will give it meaning. I say the use will give it meaning and will show you that the ideas are true. Show me, Holy Spirit. Show me, universe. Show me, Holy Spirit. Show me, universe. Show me that the ideas are true. The ideas are true. Show me the ideas are true. Show me the ideas are true. Show me that the ideas are true. Loving Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Loving Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that. Do you know that you don't have to believe it or accept the course of love tonight? Do you know that whatever we cover, you can just relax? Some of these ideas I'm gonna find hard to believe. Do you know that some of these ideas you're going to find hard to believe? Do you know that some of these ideas I'm gonna find you're gonna hard to believe? You're gonna find some of these ideas hard to believe. Some of these ideas are gonna seem quite startling. Some of these ideas are gonna seem quite startling. I am not asked to judge the ideas at all. You are not asked to judge the ideas at all. You are not asked to judge the ideas at all. Oh, guess what? None of this will matter. If it's the truth, it's going to be the truth. None of this will matter. If it's the truth, it's going to be the truth. None of this will matter, no. Because the use will give it meaning. I say the use will give it meaning and show me that the ideas are true. If you use the ideas, you will see that the ideas are true. If you use the ideas in the course of love, you are going to see that the ideas are true. I say the ideas are true. The ideas, if you use the ideas, that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Loving Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Holy Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Loving Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Freeing Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Freeing Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. 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 Wow, God, I tell you. Let me get this all together here in just a second. Okay. Mighty companions, welcome Suzanne, Daniel, Cheryl. So we're going to do the course of love. An interview that is joining for the first time. I'm Earl Purdy. And I love the course of love. Now tonight's going to be a really interesting section in the course of love. We're going to be on page 124, chapter 18, The Mind Engaged. A Course of Love, page 124, The Mind Engaged. The Mind Engaged. That's what you want. A Course of Love, 124, The Mind. So you want to go to page 124, The Mind Engaged. That's what we're going to be covering tonight. The mind engaged. That's what we're covering tonight. Page 124, The Mind Engaged, A Course of Love. Now, do you know that, I want to tell you, that music was my brother John Christmas. So if you like to get that music, an incredible music from a CD he has out called Dream On, go to johnchristmas.com. Just like Christmas, johnchristmas.com. Fantastic music. Now we're going to do The Mind Engaged. Chapter 18, In the Course of Love. It says, many of you believe that God's creation included the fall from paradise as described in the Bible, the biblical story of Adam and Eve, and in the creation stories of many cultures and religions. When you believe in the biblical story of the fall from paradise, when you accept that there really was a fall from paradise, even in non-literal terms, when you accept this as the story of separation, that it started with the fall from the Garden of Eden by Adam and Eve, you are really accepting separation itself. This story of Adam and Eve and the fall from paradise, this rather than a story of an actual event, the fall from paradise is actually a story that describes the problem. The story of Adam and Eve is a story that actually describes the problem. The story of Adam and Eve is actually a story that describes the problem. Hello, Trish. Hello, Sophia. Or Sophia. I apologize if I don't pronounce your names correctly because I can't really hear them, so I don't know. But I'm so glad you're here, and I want to invite you to interact and communicate with each other and to share this video and to comment, because tonight is going to be deep. So just kind of open your mind like never before. So the story of Adam and Eve is but the story of the birth of perception. Now that's a new one. The story of Adam and Eve is really a story that is describing how perception ever got started. And your perception of the fall makes of the fall a curse. Our perception of what happened in the Garden of Eden, according to the story, actually makes what happened in the story a curse. The way we look at the story of Adam and Eve and the fall from paradise, it actually makes that story a curse. And not only does it make that story a curse, it also represents the birth of perception, the birth of separation. The birth of perception came from the problems that were indicated in the story of Adam and Eve. Now, this interpretation would be inconsistent, however, with a benevolent God and a benevolent universe. In other words, the story of Adam and Eve would be totally out of alignment with the idea that God is loving, because a loving God would never kick you out of paradise. A loving God would never put your butt out and evict you from love and happiness. So, really, the story of Adam and Eve is really a story that's accepting the idea that a separation from love and a separation from God could happen. The story of Adam and Eve makes us believe that there would be a such thing as a benevolent God kicking us out of the Garden of Eden, driving us out of paradise. That would be inconsistent with the idea that we have a loving creator if the story that we heard about Adam and Eve was true. If that story was true, then God would not be benevolent. The truth is, the story of Adam and Eve is actually explaining the birth of separation and the birth of perception. Because the idea that you can be separate from God or kicked out of happiness is really telling you that separation from God, separation from love really did happen. So, separation can't happen. Separation can't happen. You cannot be disconnected from love. You cannot be disconnected from love, Raj. You cannot be disconnected from love. You cannot be disconnected from love. Belief in the fall which is the story that we learned, that there was a fall, that we got kicked out, Adam and Eve got kicked out of paradise, was the story. Then when you believe that you could be separate from God, when you believe that God would kick you out of your happiness, when you believe that love would hurt you, when you believe that love could separate itself from you, you are believing in something that's impossible. Do you know that it's impossible that love separate from you? It's impossible that love disconnect from you. Don't you know that it's impossible for that to happen? It's impossible for love to separate from you. That's impossible. So I'm going to go through this paragraph pretty quickly because it's a paragraph that talks about an example. And it goes, imagine that you are part of a chain of bodies holding hands and engaging the globe. Imagine that you are a part of a chain of bodies holding hands and encircling the globe. I am among those whose hand you hold. All are linked, even if each one is not holding the hand of everyone else. If one link in the chain were to be removed, the chain would no longer form a circle and the chain would fall, each end suspended in space. The chain would now be a line seeming to go from here to there instead of enclosing and encompassing everything. The separation assumes that you can break the chain. This would be impossible, as it would be for me to let go of your hand. Now imagine further that this chain is keeping the earth in its orbit. It is obvious that the earth falling out of orbit would cause dire consequences of a universal nature. It is simply less obvious that you are part of what has established and keeps a universal order. You are part of what has established and keeps a universal order. You are part of what has established and keeps a universal order, which is a part of a whole that would be a completely different whole without your presence. This entire universe would be different without you. This entire universe would be different without you. Just as the universe would be a completely different universe without the presence of the earth. The universe would be a completely different universe without your presence. This universe would be a completely different universe without your presence. It kind of reminds me of somebody telling me that they'll be happier without me. My universe would be a lot better universe without you. My life would be a lot better life without you. But that's not the way this is meant. It's meant that you have a unique presence that serves everything in the universe. That this would not be the same universe without you. This would not be the same world without you. It says, yes, this is, in effect, what you think you've done. So what is it that we think we've done? What is it that we think we've done? What is it that the course of love is saying that we think we've done? You think that you have changed the nature of the universe. First of all, you think you've changed the nature of everything. First of all, there's a part of the mind that thinks it has changed the nature of everything. And there's a part of you that thinks it has changed the nature of the universe and made it possible for life to exist separately and alone and with no relationship, no connection, and no unity with the whole. So there's a part of me that thinks it's possible to exist separately and alone with no relationship, no connection, no universe, with no whole. What we've done is that there's a part of us that thinks it's changed the universe, which means that there's a part of us that thinks it has separated from the whole, and that part of us thinks that it can be separate. There's a part of you that thinks it can be alone. There's a part of you that thinks there's a such thing as having no relationship, no connection, and no unity with the whole. Ross, there's a part of you that believes that in separation. There's a part of you that believes you're disconnected. There's a part of you that thinks that you are separate, alone, that it's possible for you to have no relationship, no connection, and no unity with the whole. But even though you think you have made a separated self, even though you think you have made a self that's separate and alone and with no relationship and no connection and no unity with the whole, you really haven't done this. You have not fallen from unity. You have not fallen from oneness. You are not disconnected from love. You have not fallen from oneness. You have not separated yourself from love. You have not separated yourself from your abundance. You have not separated yourself from your freedom. You have not separated yourself from peace. You have not separated yourself from happiness. You have not separated yourself. You have not separated yourself. You have not fallen from God. You have not fallen from God. It's not like you're up on a table and you fell on the floor. You have not fallen from God. You have, oops, God went, oh, I dropped Earl. No, you have not fallen from God. So this chain I have described helps you to imagine the place I hold for you. as you held mine when I entered the world in physical form, says Jesus. Even if it is just an illustration, it illustrates that none of us leave wholeness or each other. None of us leave each other. None of us leave each other. Now, for some people, that's good news. For some people, that's bad news, because some people you want to get away from. And this is telling us that none of us can leave each other. So, none of us being able to leave each other is good news when you really love each other. None of us being able to leave each other is not the happiest news in the world when you really can't stand most of the people that you're around. So the truth is, whether we like it or not, we're stuck with each other because we are each other, which means that none of us can leave wholeness and none of us can leave each other. None of us can leave wholeness and none of us can leave each other. Hello, Casey. Good to see you online. So, let me get this straight. The whole idea of Adam and Eve is saying to us that it's possible that we could do something that was so bad that we could be kicked out of love, kicked out of paradise, and we could become separate from our Creator. The course of love is saying that is completely untrue. But that idea corresponds with what we think has happened in separation. In other words, there's a part of me that thinks I'm separate. There's a part of me that thinks I'm alone. There's a part of me that thinks that it's possible for me to have no relationship or no connection or no particular joining with everything. There's a part of me that firmly believes I am separate from you, I am different from you, that I'm sitting in my apartment and you're sitting in wherever you are and we're separate from each other. There's a part of me that believes that. Do you know that it then says to us, while you have been taught that you are not your body, one of the things that we've been learning in A Course in Miracles and A Course of Love is that you're not your body. It's impossible for you to deny that you have a body here. It's impossible for you to deny that you have a body here. It's impossible for you to deny the body here. If you're going to be here, then you stop denying your body here. Stop deciding not to know your body here. Stop being unwilling to get acquainted with your body here. Because this is the place where your body can be your greatest asset, since this is the place you have a body. So, you can change the function that you have ascribed to your body. You can give your body a brand new function. You can give your body a brand new function. And you can give your body a new way of functioning. Okay, do you know that it's time to give your body a brand new function? And it's time for you, Raj, to give your body a new way of functioning. If you don't see your body as the result of a fall. In other words, if you don't see your body as a curse, if you don't see your body as a punishment from God, if you don't see your body as your home, if you don't see your body as a dwelling place that keeps you separate, then you can begin to see the body as what the body is. Do you know what the body really is? Do you know what the body really is? Would you like to know what the body really is? Would you like to focus on what the body really is? Well, your body is a learning device given you by God. Your body is a learning device. Your body is a device for learning. Your body is a device for learning that was given to you by God. Your body is a device for learning that was given you by God. In A Course in Miracles, it describes learning as perception. It says perception is learning. You're seeing what you learn. So your body is a perception device. It is through your body that you perceive physically. It's through your body that you are perceiving physically. So your body is a learning device given to you by not a regular creator. Your body is a learning device given to you by a loving creator. Your body is a learning device given to you by a creator that loves you. This body is a learning device. This body is a learning device. This body is a learning device that was given to me by my creator. And I will not experience the body in any kind of way that causes me pain if I stop seeing the body as a punishment from God. Stop seeing the body as your home. Stop seeing the body as your home. The body is not 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 your home. The body is a learning device. The body is not you. The body is a learning device. The body is not you. You have a body. The body is a learning device. Raj, your body is a learning device given to you by God. Mighty companion, your body is a learning device given to you by God. Now, the Course of Love goes on to say that before our separation from God, when we were totally in our awareness of our oneness, there was no need for learning. So we didn't have to start learning things until we started to believe we were separate. But a loving creator creates not that which can have a need go unfulfilled. So, since our Creator loves us, we can't have an unfulfilled need. Because our Creator loves us, there cannot be a need that we can have that will not be met. There is no such thing as you having a need that will not be met because you have a loving Creator. So therefore, you cannot have a true need that is not met. Now, as soon as the need for learning arose, as soon as we had a need to learn. Now, why did we need to learn? We needed to learn because we believe that we're separate. We believe that we're separate from God. We believe that we are bodies. We believe that we are on our own. So just the mere idea that we've forgotten that we are only love, the fact that we've forgotten that we're just one, that fact created the need for us to learn, because we had to learn that that's not true. The perfect means to fulfill that need was established. You have simply failed to see your body as the perfect means to get back in touch with your true connection with your Creator. Your body is a perfect learning device for learning who and what you really are. And you are total love. You are total spirit. You are total love. You are total spirit. You are total consciousness. You are total awareness. You are spirit. You are spirit. You are spirit. You are consciousness. You are divine mind. Your body is the perfect way for you to learn that. Now, not seeing your body as a way for you to learn how beautiful and how loved and how sensational you really are. Your body is here so that it can be used for you to learn how truly fantastic you are. The purpose of your body is to be used for you to learn and remember the truth, which is that you are sensational, astonishing, fantastic, love, oneness, and spirit. Before the separation, there was no possibility of misinterpretation. Before we lost the awareness that we were loved, before we lost the awareness that we are one, there was no need to even worry about misperception and misinterpretation. Because when you're in the state of oneness, there is no external world to be seen or perceived. A learning device, the body, which is a learning device, when not perceived as a learning device, doesn't hold much hope of fulfilling its function. If you think your body is you, that's going to hinder your body's ability to fulfill its true function. When you think your body is you, it hinders your ability to fulfill your true function. When you identify with your body, instead of seeing your body as a learning device for the truth, then you are not allowing your body to fulfill its true function that it was created to fulfill. So whenever you identify with your body, whenever you think you are a body, then you're interfering with your body's ability to fulfill the function that it was given, which was to bring you back to the awareness that you are one with all that is and that you are freaking love, that you are awesome. But when perception changes and a thing is seen as what that thing is, then that thing cannot fail to accomplish what it was created to accomplish. When you see your body for what your body is, a learning device, then your body can fulfill its function of bringing you total joy, love, and happiness. When you don't see your body as who you are, but you see your body as a learning device, then that frees your body to fulfill its true function, and you can find that your body can be a means for you to experience love and joy and happiness and awakening that's far beyond your wildest dreams. Now, let's talk about the external world. Let's talk a little bit about the external world. So I'm going to look here. I see this Sophia is online. Cheryl, I'm glad to hear that you need to hear this. Thank you. You are welcome. Shirley St. Cloud, the body is a learning device given to you by God. That is exactly right. The body is, Sophia saying the body is not my home. The body is a learning device on loan from God. The body is not your home. It's a learning device. Russell is saying, thanks, Earl. Will I be able to pick up this video later? All of these videos are instantly available for replay. And also within a few days, I always put my videos on YouTube also. And so you can always go to earlpurdy.com and also watch. But it's important for us to understand the point of what's being made right now. The point is, Raj, is that your body is a learning device that was given to you by a loving creator. When you don't see your body as a learning device, and then you use it for something that it was not meant to be used for, and it was meant to be used for love and helping us remember who we really are, then it would stand to reason that that's why the body would seem to get sick and the body would seem to be malfunctioning, because I'm not using my body correctly when I'm using my body for any other reason other than love. Okay, which is freedom. Use your body to achieve freedom. It's not about the freedom of the body itself. It's about your freedom, and you are not the body. So the you that I'm talking about freeing is not the you that thinks it is a body. The you that I'm talking to is not the you that thinks it is a body. The you that I'm talking to is the you that the body was created to be a learning device for. So an external world is but a projection. So that means the outside world is a projection that can't take you away from the internal world where you exist in wholeness, where you exist as a link in the chain of creation. The external world cannot take you away from your internal world. You have an internal world and an external world, and your external world cannot take you away from the internal world, that you are one. Now, imagine again this chain that I was talking about earlier, and yourself among those who comprise this chain. And imagine the life that you experience. Imagine the life that you experience now taking place much like that you would see projected on a movie screen. Imagine your life that you're living right now. Think of it for a moment as if it is a movie that's being projected on a movie screen. Look at your life right now as if it's a movie that's being projected on the movie screen. Now, you haven't left your place as you view this movie. When you're in a movie theater watching a movie, I went to see The Guardian of the Galaxy Volume 2, which was a trip. And it had a lot of interesting messages in there. You'll find that all movies and TV shows, no matter what the movies and TV shows are, have a spiritual message for you if you look with that in mind. But you go back to the example. Because you're watching a movie, it doesn't mean that you left your place. I was still sitting in the seat when I was watching the movie. And even though I was experiencing its sights and its sounds and its joys and its sorrows. But also the way we do it, not only do we see the movie, but it also looks like we are a part of the movie, the projection. And right now, that's exactly where your awareness is. You're like a person that's in a movie, looking at a movie, and you projected yourself into the movie. You have projected yourself into the movie. This is a movie. Your life is a movie, and you have projected yourself into the movie. You are part of the projection. You are projecting the movie. And so not only have you identified with the you that you projected onto the screen, you feel like you're trapped in the movie. This is like a three-dimensional movie, virtual reality movie that it looks like you're trapped in. Your life is like a virtual reality movie that it looks like you are trapped in. Your life is like a virtual reality movie that it looks like you are trapped in. But actually you're sitting in the seat in the theater watching the movie, and you've forgotten about the you that's still sitting in the seat watching the movie that has never gotten involved with the movie. There's a part of you that when you're sitting in the theater watching the movie, it's still in its seat, it's still in the movie theater, and it's never in the movie that you're looking at. And there's also a you that you have imagined and have projected yourself into the movie. Your life is a three-dimensional cosmic movie that you have forgotten that you are sitting in the movie theater called home, heaven, and love and oneness, totally safe, looking at the life you are projecting. So it looks like you're trapped on the screen. It looks like you're viewing everything from the two eyes of the one that's projected there. Again, this is but what these courses, exercises have attempted to help you see. What is the course of love attempting to help me see? What is the course of love attempting to help me see? What is the course of love attempting to help me see? that a world you can observe, a world you can learn in, a world you can learn from, for as long as you would choose to learn what the idea of separation would teach you. This is the world that you will observe. This is the world that you will learn in. This is the world that you would learn from. As long as you want to learn how to be separate, as long as you want to accept the idea that you're separate, as long as you want to do things from the idea that you're separate from everything, as long as you want to do things from the idea that you're separate from everything, then you're going to see this world. You're going to learn in this world. You're going to learn from this world. So you're going to be in a world like this one. You're going to be in a world like this one. You're going to be in a world like this one as long as you want to learn from the perspective that you are separate, as long as you want to learn from the perspective that you are a body, as long as you want to learn from the perspective that you are different from everyone, as long as you want to learn and experience from that idea, do you know that you're going to have a world like this that you're living in, a world like this one that you are experiencing and learning in and learning from. So as long as I think I'm Earl Purdy, separate from everything and everybody else, then I'm going to learn all my lessons in a world that's based on separation and everybody being different from everybody else. You're in a world that looks like everybody and everything is different from everybody else because you believe you are different from everything and everybody else. You're in a world that looks like you're different from everything and everybody else because you believe that you are different from everybody else and you believe that you are a body. And if you see differences around you, if it looks to you like there are things that are disconnected from you and not connected to you, then that means you believe that you are separate. And the belief that you are separate, and that's what you're learning with this core idea that you're separate, then you're going to see a world of separation, you're going to see a world of differences, and you're going to see a world in which everybody looks like they're separate and different from everybody else. So it's time to make a new choice. Do you know that this is telling us that it's time to make a new choice? That now we need to make a new choice. So far, it's like I've said, okay, I think I'm different. I think I'm Earl Raj Purdy. And I think I'm different from all of you. And since I believe that is true about myself, then I've got to perceive and experience a world that it looks like everything is separate and different from me. So the reason why it looks like everything is separate from me and disconnected from me is because I believe I'm separate and disconnected. And so that means I have to learn within a world in which everything looks like it's separate and disconnected. That's why I'm in this world that it looks like everything is separate and different and disconnected. It's because I believe I'm separate and different and disconnected. And as long as I believe I'm separate and different and disconnected, then I'm going to be in a world of separation that he says in here that you will observe, because I see a separate world, that I will learn in. It looks like I'm learning in a separate world, and it looks like I'm learning from within a separate world. So do you know that you need to make a new choice? You need to make a new choice. What would be the new choice that you would need to make? What would be the new choice that I would need to make? I would need to make the choice to learn from unity. Instead of learning from the idea that I'm separate and different, and I'm now universe, I want to learn from the perspective of unity. I want to learn from the perspective that I am not different from you, that I am connected with you. I want to learn from the perspective of oneness. Because that's what the course of love is preparing you for. It's preparing you to learn from the perspective that you are joined and one, because you've already experienced the world that you experience when you think you are separate and different. It is the world that it looks like we're living in right now. That world of separation that it looks like we're living in right now is here because I have a core belief that I'm separate. I have a core belief that somehow or another I was separated from love and separated from my Creator, which is impossible. But even if it's impossible, then if I believe it, then I'm going to perceive it. And so therefore I'm in a world that it looks like I'm separate from my Creator and separate from everything and everyone around me. And all the learning that I've been doing all my life has been from the perspective that I'm a separate, different person named Earl. So now I want to make a different choice. Now I'm ready to experience something new. So the course of love has been preparing me to make the choice to start to learn from a perspective of oneness. The course of love is preparing you to be ready to learn from the perspective of you are one. Okay, you're right, Laura. This is deep. I see what you're saying about it making sense. And I don't understand why you're saying apparently I have high arsenic levels now, but I'm glad you're online. Doug, it's good to see you. And you just had a recent birthday. Happy birthday, my brother. So, we're going to go deeper. Talisha says she's ready to experience something new. Okay, I'm glad you said that. If you're willing to experience something new, the only thing that's truly new that you can experience would be learning from the perspective of unity, because you have already for eons have been learning from the perspective that you're separate. So a truly new choice would be a willingness to learn from the perspective of unity, which is oneness. And that's what the Course of Love prepares you for. Now, learning from unity requires an integrated heart and mind. And to have your heart joined with your mind is called wholeheartedness. So do you know that a half-hearted approach to this learning will not work? A half-hearted approach to this will not work. Nor will the attention of a split mind, staying in a split mind. Make an undivided decision for happiness, Raj. Make an undivided decision for happiness, mighty companion. It can't be emphasized strongly enough that you learn what you choose to learn. Do you know that you learn what you choose to learn? You learn what you choose to learn. Are you willing to see that you learn what you choose to learn? Would you be willing to consider that you learn what you choose to learn? For proof of this, that you learn what you choose to learn, for proof of this, all you need to do is look at the world that was created from your wish to learn what the idea of separation would teach you. You're looking at the world that was produced from your decision to learn what a world of separation would teach you. But before we came into this world of separation and differences, we resided in unity and oneness. Where you resided before you thought you were a body, where you lived before you thought you were separate, was in an existence that you resided in oneness and unity. You could not imagine what this world would be like. If you were to be in your natural state, you couldn't even imagine what being in a world of separation and fear would even be like. Any more than you can now imagine what a unified, united world would look like. Like right now, I can't really imagine what a world based on unconditional love and joining and everybody knowing that would be like. There was a time that I was so in that world of unity and oneness and love that I couldn't imagine what a world like this would be like. A world that's based on the idea that I'm separate and different and apart from God and everybody else. You did not understand from the standpoint of unity what it was that you were asking for, or the extent of involvement this learning would require. So when we had it's saying that when we had the idea of what would it be like to be separate, what would it be like to be different? Because we can think anything we want to. We're unlimited and free. So it was like Earl went, I wonder what it would be like to think I was separate from everything and everybody. But when I made that desire, when I asked for that, I did not realize what I was asking for. I didn't realize the extent of involvement this learning from the perspective that I'm separate would require. In order to learn what the idea of separation would teach you, you needed to believe that you existed in a separated state. If I'm going to learn what it is that I could learn from thinking that I'm separate, but then I'd have to be somewhere that I'm separate. If I want to learn from the perspective that I am an individual that is different and unique and separate from everybody else, then I have to have a world that's like that. That would make sense to me. And I would also have to believe that I exist in this separated and different state. So then I would have to forget that I actually reside in unity as a requirement of this condition that I wish to experience. If I want to have the experience of being separate and different from everything and everybody, if I want to have the experience of thinking that I'm an individual, but the truth is I'm connected to everything and everybody, then I have to forget that I actually am one with you. If I want to experience myself as separate from you, I have to actually forget that in reality I'm totally connected to you. So this requirement for me to forget my oneness and my connection and my joining to everything in order to have the experience of being a separated, individualized person, that was a condition of my wish. If Earl wanted to experience himself as separate from everything and everybody else, I have to have a world that I can seem to be separate from everything and everybody else. And I would have to forget that I really am connected and joined with all of you. In order for us to play this game that we're separate and different and apart, then we have to forget that the truth is we're completely joined and completely one and completely unified. So to play the separation game, we have to forget that we're truly one self. Now, I know this explanation makes perfect sense, and it says, while this explanation makes perfect sense, you find it quite unbelievable on the basis of your perception of yourself and the limited range of power you believe your decision making to have. What does that mean? It means that even though this makes sense, what I just said to you, it's hard to believe that you have this much power, that you have the power to create a separate identity that looks like it's separate from everything and everybody, and a world of perception in which you are living it out in. It looks like that looks like that's a whole lot of power for you to have. So the only way to make the unbelievable believable is to alter what you experience. What does that mean? It means the state in which you now exist was not only unbelievable, but being separate from God and being separate from each other is also inconceivable to you in your natural state. In our natural state, it's inconceivable that we could be separate and disconnected from love. In our natural state, it's inconceivable that we could be afraid, guilty, sick, hurt in any kind of way. Because in our natural state, we're completely, totally invulnerable, and in our natural state, we're totally and completely safe. So experience was required in order to alter your belief system, and is required now as well. So in order to change the way that we believe, which is that we are separate and apart and disconnected and on our own, if we want to let go of that belief, because now we're ready to experience the bliss of oneness, then we have to have experiences. We need experiences that will change what we believe. You need experiences that will change what you believe. If you have a belief that you're ready to change, then you need an experience to help you change your belief. Experiences are the fastest way to change a belief, is through an experience that alters your belief. For instance, if I was a racist black man that believed that white people were evil, then if I had a direct experience of a white person saving my life, loving me and helping me, that experience would alter that limiting belief that's racist within me. So a black person who has racist ideas and a white person that has racist ideas, the easiest way for them to change their beliefs is to have an experience with each other that is a positive experience with each other that begins to alter those beliefs. That's just an example that's pretty graphic, but I think it brings home what I'm talking about. Because I've had people say that to me. I've had my brothers and sisters in white bodies communicate with me and say, because of the way I was brought up with my own racist attitudes, interacting with you, watching your classes, experiencing you changed my mind about black people. So as part of the pretending that we're separate, then it looks like there's white people and that there's black people and that there's men and that there's women, because I wanted to learn from the idea of being separate and an individual, and so I had to be put in a world that's based on separation and physical differences, and that's why we're in this perception that we call the world that we're looking at. So we need new experiences, and these new experiences will change. These new experiences will help change our beliefs. Okay, let's see what we have on the side right now. Okay, Cheryl says she wants to make an undivided decision for happiness. Susan says, when I choose unity and truth, I am fully supported by the loving universe. Absolutely right. Dharma is saying integration is growth. And Talisha just said, I am ready to experience something new. Hello, Jim. Great you're joining. All of you online, those of you who are really quiet, that I've never heard from before, communicate, join, dare go beyond your edge. Okay, so now let's look at the next paragraph. We're in chapter 18, paragraph 11. The experience of unity will alter your belief system. So the experience of oneness will alter your belief system. An experience of oneness will alter the belief system of others. Because anything that you learn in oneness, anything that you learn in unity is always going to be shared. Anything that you do in love is always going to be shared. Anything that is done from love is shared. It's never kept for just one person. Nothing about love is ever just for one other person. It's for all of us. Anything that's coming from love is for all of us. That's why you know an apple tree is coming from love, because the apple tree doesn't care who picks its apples. Anybody that wants the apples on the apple tree is going to be able to get the apples. The apple tree is not going to, if I go to pick an apple, it's not going to smack my hand and say, I don't get apples to black dudes. Okay? So I know the tree is coming from love because everything on the tree is available to anyone that wants it. So that's how I know that that food and all the things that we have freely in nature is coming out of love, because anyone can enjoy it. The tree doesn't say you can't sit under it, but somebody else can. So the tree is actually expressing love. So that's what it's saying to me. It says that unity will alter your belief system. Unity will alter the belief system of others, for what you learn in unity is shared, because you are currently learning from separation. We've been learning from the idea that we're separate. However, so since we're learning from the idea of separation, then each must experience oneness and unity individually. So since all of us think we're separate, then I've got to have my own individual experience of unity and oneness, and you have to have your own individual experiences of unity and oneness for you to recognize that there's a whole nother way to live, and so you have an experience that alters your belief system. So since we think we are separate, it looks like we wake up separately, because we think we are separate, and so we're in a world based on everybody doing everything separately. And so you have to start having your own individual experiences of unity and oneness to alter your beliefs. Even when what is learned is going to be shared. So even though I'm having my own individual experience of learning that I'm one with you, everybody ultimately is going to benefit from that. Okay? Now, perception of levels is a function of time. Now, what does that mean? If you're in time, it looks like there are different levels. Thus, it seems that great amounts of time are needed before change of a lasting nature can occur. Because we do everything in time, it looks like sometimes it takes a long time to make a change. Because we think we're in time, sometimes it looks like it takes a long time to be in change, to go through change, and that's why miracles save time. A correct perception is a miracle. A true perception is a miracle. What we're hearing tonight are miracles. Miracles are correct and true perceptions. So these correct and true perceptions that we're learning through this book are actually saving us time, because they integrate all levels. And that means that these thoughts that we're having right now temporarily collapse time. And what does it mean to temporarily collapse time? It means that you're not taking as long, you're not having to take as long to get the result as you did before. 5 hours, what you used to have to take 5 hours to learn, you could learn in 5 minutes. You've collapsed time. It doesn't take as long. That's what it means by collapsing time. So the kind of thoughts that we're learning in A Course of Love, these thoughts are actually collapsing time, which is the same as saying saving time. So saving time is collapsing time. So what is time? What is time? Time is actually a measurement of learning. You measure your learning by time, or the time it takes for learning to pass from one level to another through experience. For learning is experienced in time. So time is a measurement of learning. You have as much time as you need to learn. You have as much time as you need to learn. You can say it took me 4 years to become a doctor. In other words, you had that time. You had 4 years of time to learn to be a doctor. So time is a measurement of learning. So in order for your experience base to change from a base of learning in separation to go into a base of learning in oneness and unity, learning from what unity can teach you must be birthed as an idea. What does that mean? What I'm saying to you is, if you want to go from learning from the perspective of being separate, which is the life that you've experienced up to now, has been about learning from the idea that you're separate and the experiences of learning that you have when you think you're separate, You already know everything you've ever experienced since the day you were born, everything you've ever seen anybody else experience since the day you were born. You were seeing the learning experiences that come from the idea that you're separate and disconnected in a body. So you already know the experiences that you're going to learn when you're coming from the perspective that you're separate and you're coming from a perspective that you are just a body. We already know what that experience produces. It produces the life that we've already had. So if we want to learn from another perspective, if we want to now see what it would be like to learn from the perspective of oneness and love and peace, you have to give birth to that idea. It has to become your idea. You have to make the idea of learning through love, Raj. You have to make that your idea. You have to make that your thought. You have to make learning through love and oneness, that has to become your idea now. It has to become your thought now. It's almost like a sacred plagiarism. In other words, you're going to start claiming and giving birth to the idea that, you know what, I'm ready to learn from the perspective that I'm joined to you. I'm ready to learn from the perspective that you and I are connected. I'm willing to learn from the perspective that we are love and we love each other. I want to learn from the perspective that we free each other. I want to learn from the perspective that you are me and I am you. I want to learn from the perspective that you are innocent and I'm innocent, and see what kind of experiences that will give me. I already know the kind of experiences that I go through when I believe I'm disconnected from you. I know what kind of experiences I experience when I think I'm separate, and when I think I'm guilty, and when I think I'm sinful, and when I think I'm bad. I already know what kind of experiences you have from that, because that's coming from the idea that I'm separate. That's coming from the idea that I am separate. So I know you go through ups and go through downs. I know you go through fear, and I know you go through love. I know you go through happiness, and I know you go through sadness. I know you worry, and I know sometimes you feel peace. And most of all, I know when you're learning from the perspective of separation, you think everything and everybody outside of you needs to change in order for you to be happy. When you're learning from the perspective of being separate and different and separated from God and separated from love, when you're learning and experiencing life from that perspective, it also creates a victim consciousness, which makes you believe that your happiness and your well-being depends on what people do outside of you. So I already know what that's like. That you get temporary happiness and temporary unhappiness. You get pleasure and you get pain. I already know you go through pain and then you feel good. It looks like you're temporary. I know what learning experiences you have when you think you're separate, but I don't know. I don't really know 100% what kind of learning experiences I would be having if I knew that I was totally and completely loved and totally and completely innocent. So, he says, you thus must each experience the birth of the idea of learning from unity. And that means learning from unity in order for it to come from within and leave not its source. Everything that I learned has to come from within. So I have to birth the idea of unity and oneness within my mind and soul and heart. And then it will be extended out into my experience, and then I will see it, because I'm always seeing the results of my thoughts. I'm always experiencing the results of my thoughts. So I have to introduce the thought of oneness, the thought of innocence, the thought of love, the thought of freedom, the thought of joy. I have to give birth to those ideas, because everything that I experience comes from my belief. Okay? An idea of mine can only become an idea of yours through your relationship with the idea. If I give you an idea and I want it to become your idea, it's only going to become your idea through your having a relationship to the idea. Let me give you an example. Would you like to go dancing with me on Friday night? I have an idea of going dancing. Then you also join me in that idea of going dancing. Now you have a relationship with the idea that I've given you. I've given you the idea of going dancing, and now you said that you would accept that idea. So now you have a relationship with that idea with your ideas. So now that idea of going dancing is just as much your idea as it is my idea, because you're going to join me in it. So you need only to experience this idea that you're ready to learn from oneness in your own way. I like that. I'll say it again. You need only to experience this idea of learning through oneness in your own way, which is from the desire to know, from which all ideas are born in order to give it life. So you want to know how all ideas are born. so that you can keep having experiences with ideas that you would like to experience. Once an idea is born, once you conceive of an idea, notice it says once an idea is born. That means once an idea is extended, once an idea is created, then whatever that idea is, it exists in relationship to its creator. I had the idea of going dancing, so that idea is still inside of me, so that idea is related to me. So all that remains now is a choice of participation. So the only thing that remains right now is you got to decide whether or not you're going to participate with me in the idea of joining and learning from the perspective that we are one with each other and that we love each other. So in unity, all that you desired was participated in fully by the mind and the heart. And whenever your mind and your heart are combined, whenever you want it in your thought and you want it in your heart, that's wholeheartedness. When you want it with all of your feeling nature and with all your heart, and you want it with all your mind, you're wholehearted. So you desire. So we have to wholeheartedly desire to participate in love. Do you know you have to wholeheartedly desire to participate in oneness? That's wholeheartedness. So you have to know yourself to be the creator of your experience, and you have to love everything that you create. First you acknowledge you create your experience, then you love the experience you create. You did not desire and fear something at the same time. When you're in touch with who you really are, you don't say, I desire a relationship, but I'm afraid of a relationship. When you know who you really are, you don't go, I desire love and I'm afraid of love. When you know who you really are, you don't go, I desire to be mad and I desire to feel peace. Your desires don't change from moment to moment when you're rooted in your true self. And when you're rooted in your loving self, your desires don't change from moment to moment. What you desired, you experience fully with your whole being. What does it mean to experience something with your whole being? Don't forget that you can watch these videos over and over again, and that they are immediately available for replay after I finish, because this is some good stuff. If you think this is some good stuff, would y'all send me some hearts across there to continue to inspire me to keep on being the channel for this to come through? I sure would love that. If you feel like it, if you're feeling it, if you're seeing it, send me some hearts right now. Let me know you appreciate what the Holy Spirit is expressing through me. Ah, great. That makes me feel good to see that. I'll put it this way. I make myself feel good when I see that. I make myself feel good. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I appreciate you all. I appreciate you all. I love you all so friggin' much. I'm telling you, I can just feel. We're learning from the perspective of oneness with each other right now. We're giving each other an experience that alters our beliefs right now. Let's say that you believe that there was no one else as weird as you. Now you know that there are a whole lot of people just as weird as you are. So now you understand that you're not so weird, because you want to learn in unity and oneness, and now you're seeing through these hearts that you're not the only one that wants to learn through unity and oneness. So just by sharing this communication with each other, we are giving each other the experience of unity, and we are altering our beliefs. So we are a blessing to each other. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. Love is the way I walk in gratitude for you. I'm so glad we have this time together every week. And I want to encourage you to have a one-on-one session with me, that you allow yourself to have a one-on-one session with me called a clarity session. Go to my website and see what I offer and if it would be helpful to you. EarlPurdy.com. Got to slip a little commercial in there because I'm here to extend and I want to help. All right, now, so how do you desire? So when you desire something, how do you experience it fully with your whole being? You make it one with you. When you experience something fully, it feels like it's one with you. That you keep yourself from desiring anything fully here is what makes this existence so chaotic and erratic. Do you know that we were just told what makes our life seem chaotic? It just said that what makes our life seem chaotic is that we don't fully desire anything. That your life is chaotic to the extent that you don't fully desire something. If I don't fully desire to be in a relationship with you, then my relationship with you is going to be chaotic and erratic. If I don't fully desire to know my prosperity and abundance, fully make it one with me, then I'm going to have a chaotic and erratic abundance, or you could even say financial situation. If I don't want something fully, I have a chaotic relationship with it. And we were just told that's why there's so much chaos, because we hold back. We don't allow ourselves to fully 100% desire anything. And that's what makes it chaotic, and that's what makes it erratic. So then it tells us that a mind and heart in conflict is what keeps you from desiring anything fully, and thus from creating. So do you know that what keeps you from being fully creative is that your mind and your heart is in conflict? Your thoughts and your feelings are in conflict because you have not gotten to the point that you fully desire whatever that is. And if you don't fully desire it, you can't create it. And so integration of your mind and integration of your heart must be our goal. The integration of the joining of our minds and our hearts must be our goal. We must want it with all our mind and all our heart. We must join our mind and our heart. And your heart is not the physical organ pumping blood in your body. Your heart is the very center of your being. So you have to want it with all of your thought and with the center and the core of your being. So the integration of your mind and your heart must be your goal in order for you to create the state in which unity can be experienced. So do you know that means that if we want to experience unity, if we want to experience oneness, we've got to integrate, join our mind and our heart. And obviously this is up to you, and obviously this is up to me. It's up to me to join my mind with my heart. It's up to me to only go and follow the path of heart. What do you want in your heart? What do you want in your heart? And what is it that you think about and want with your heart? All your heart. All your heart. So, as you chose to create, as you chose to create a state of separation, as you chose to create a state of separation, you must choose to create a state of unity. I chose to be separate, now I have to choose to be joined again. I chose to be separate, I chose to be different, now I have to choose to be the same. That doesn't mean that I won't have my own express. That doesn't mean, don't associate being the same as being boring or bland. In other words, we are all love. We are all creative. We are all free. We are all connected. And so I must choose to create from a state of oneness. I am ready to create from a state of oneness with you. I'm willing to create from a state of unity and wholeness with you. I'm ready to create from a state of joy and happiness with you. Now, it says it can come as no surprise to you that your mind has ruled your heart. You've allowed your mind to overrule your heart. You've known sometimes that you really didn't want to do something in your heart, and you talk yourself into it or out of it. All of us know that experience of letting our mind overrule our heart. We instead of joining our mind and our heart, we'll let our thoughts overrule our heart. And he says, what this course of love has thus far attempted to do is to briefly change your orientation from mind to heart. You're so oriented towards your thinking. Now we're going to try to orient you towards your heart, towards your core feelings. This is a first step in what will seem now like an attempt to balance two things, your mind and your heart. But what we're really trying to do, I know it looks like we're trying to balance your mind and your heart, but what we're really attempting to do, we are really attempting to unite what it is that you have seen as separate. We're trying to join what you have seen as separate. What you have seen as different, we're trying to help you see it as the same. Everyone wants love. Everyone wants happiness. Everyone is the same. Everyone is the same. You are love. You are spirit. We are all the same. We are all the same. We are all spirit. We are all love. We are all free. We are all loved. We all chose to be in the world of separation to learn from, and we're all choosing to join together right now on the idea of learning through oneness and unity. If the heart is the center of yourself, if my heart is my center, if my heart is my center, where then is my mind? If my heart is my center, where's my mind at? And what is the center? The center is the source in which everything exists as one mind. So When you are centered, you're at the source. When you're centered, you're where everything exists as one man. Now, to say this to us before we loosen some of our perceptions about the mind being the most supreme thing, we wouldn't have been willing to listen to this, and it would have been folly. We needed to hear everything. In other words, we needed to hear everything that we've already heard to be ready to hear what we're about to hear now. Okay? We're about to hear something different. Like Cheryl is saying, I want to make an undivided decision for happiness. Talisha is saying, when you want in your heart and when you want in your heart and mind, that is wholeheartedness. Latasha just says simply, deep. Dharma says, love you, thank you. Love you, thank you. We are love. All right. I hope. Good to see you. Dharma says, when you are centered, you're at the source. That's exactly right. So it says the one mind is not as you have perceived your mind. So when we talk about one mind, it's not talking about the way we see the mind. When these books talk about one-mindedness, it's not talking about it the way we see it. The one mind, you don't have a one mind until you have a mind that's ruled by love. You don't have a one mind until you have a mind that's ruled by love. A one mind is a mind that is ruled by love, ruled by freedom, ruled by joy. And the one mind is but a mind in which love rules, which is a mind in which your mind and your heart are one. A one mind is where your mind and your heart are joined. So we would proceed by calling this wholeheartedness. My mind and my heart being joined is wholeheartedness, rather than looking at it as the mind or the heart. Let me take a minute to catch my breath here. A wandering mind is seen as quite the norm, and thoughts that dart about in a chaotic fashion are as unacceptable. We think having our thoughts that dart around in a chaotic fashion, we see that as acceptable. And we think that having thoughts darting around in a chaotic way is as inevitable to us as breathing. Do you know, a split mind is seen as not much less normal. We think having a split mind, conflicted mind is really normal. A split mind is seen as not much less normal, although a split mind is recognized. It is recognized that a split mind makes decision making difficult. A mind in conflict makes decision difficult. And a mind in conflict is a mind that finds it very difficult to make decisions. You were already told that the only exercise for your mind that would be included in this course of love, the only exercise for your mind that has been included in a course of love is that you dedicate all thought to union. I dedicate all thought to union. I dedicate all thought to union. I dedicate all thought to union. We dedicate all thought to union. I say, dedicate all your thoughts to union. Dedicate all thought to union. Dedicate your thought to union. Dedicate all 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 thought to union. So we need to dedicate all thought to union. This now must be seen in two dimensions rather than one dimension. What the heck does that mean? It means in addition to dedicating thought to unity with the one or the whole, now you must dedicate your thought to unifying your thought. See, I need to dedicate my thought to having unified thought. And unified thought is a thought. Having unified thought means that all the thoughts in your mind are geared toward one purpose, which is unity and love. So a unified mind is a mind that has one goal, one purpose. A unified mind is a mind that has one goal and one purpose. That's dedicating all thought to union. Then it says in chapter 18, paragraph 18, you don't realize that a wholehearted choice in regards to experiencing, you do not realize what a wholehearted choice, in regards to experiencing separation did. It's saying to me, it's saying, Earl, you don't really know just how deep an experience that decision to want to learn from the perspective of separation was a really, really powerful decision. So, but when you're wholehearted, you're saying that I'm ready to have a full expression of my power. I am wholehearted. I am going to give you a full expression of my power with you. I'm going to be wholehearted with you means I'm going to give you a full expression of my power. I want to give you a full expression of my power to love you. I want to give you a full expression of my power. I want to give you a full expression of my power. I am wholehearted. I'm going to give you a full expression. A full expression of what? A full expression of your power is creation. So when you say I'm ready to create, you're saying I'm ready to give a full expression of my power in this area. I'm ready to create in relationship. I am ready to express a full expression of my power. What has been created cannot be uncreated. Anything that's created can't be uncreated. You were created, so you cannot be uncreated. You were created, you know you were created because you know you exist. You know you were created because you know you exist. You know you have a creator because you exist. You know you have a creator because you exist. You know you have a creator because you exist. You know you have a creator because you exist. And anything that's been created cannot be uncreated. So therefore you are eternal. You are eternal. You cannot be uncreated. Nobody's going to uncreate you. You cannot be erased. Now, what has been created cannot be uncreated. But do you know that what has been created can be transformed? You cannot be uncreated, but you can be transformed. Transformation occurs in time. So you are in time. So you are where transformation can happen. Do you want to know where transformation can happen? Do you know that transformation happens where you are right now? And where you are right now is in time. You are right now in time. Hello, Jennifer. I appreciate what you're saying, that you love listening to me every morning before work. That is great. And that all unifying thoughts remove illusion of being separate. That is right. All unifying thoughts rids us of the idea that we are separate. You're right, Dharma. I am eternal and you are eternal. And you can be uncreated, but you can be transformed. Casey, you are willing to express a full expression of your power. Thanks for saying that. And I am willing to express a full expression of my power to love. And I'm willing to express it with you. I'm getting hot. Right, I'm getting all shiny and stuff. All right, man, I tell you, I can feel the energy centers in my body just, they just become on fire when I'm doing this one-on-one with you. God. So, let's review. When you say you're going to be wholehearted, you're talking about you're going to express a full expression of your power. 100%, you're not going to hold back. When you do a full expression of your power, that's creation. You have been created, so therefore you know there's a God because you didn't create yourself. You don't even know how you came about. So you know you wasn't the one that did it. Now what did come about that you are responsible for is you decided to learn, because you can think anything you want to see, think you're an unlimited being. So you decided, I wonder what it would be like. I wonder what it would be like to have the experience of being separate, of being different, and being disconnected from all the rest of myself. Okay, poof, here you are. And since I wanted to be separate and different, I have to be in a world that looks like everybody is separate and different from me. It looks like I'm in a world that everything is separate and different from me and apart from me. But in order to take this sincerely and really believe that it's happened, then I've got to forget the truth. I've got to forget who I really am, and I've got to forget my unity and oneness with everybody around me. The other thing I need to do if I'm going to experience myself as separate and in a separate world, I've got to identify with the thing that keeps me looking separate. And the thing that keeps me looking and feeling separate is my body. So now I believe my body is who I really am. Okay, now what else do I need to do? I need to not only think that my body is who I really am, I also have to forget the real function of my body. And so I have to remember that the minute I made the body, then that which created me immediately made the decision to use whatever I make and whatever I create for love, and to teach me how to love, and to teach me how to remember myself. So no matter what the original idea behind the body was, the real idea behind the body is for it to be a learning device for me to remember the love that I really am. Okay? And so I cannot be uncreated, but I can change, I can transform. But I can only be transformed in time. And I am in time. Yeah, this is it, right? I'm in time, okay? So transformation and miracles need to work hand in hand. Oh yeah, if I want to alter my beliefs, because now I want to learn through unity, because I'm tired of learning through the idea of being separate, then the easiest way to alter a belief, the easiest way to change a belief is to give yourself an experience. If you want to believe that love can be joyful, then you need to join with people who you tend to experience joy with. Then it alters your belief that says you can't have joyful, loving, sane relationships. Experiences alter beliefs the fastest. So, the transformation from a state of separation, this is chapter 18, paragraph 19, A Course of Love. The transformation from a state of separation to a state of unity is a miracle. Changing from a state of being completely separate to a state that I know I'm joined is a miracle indeed. This transformation requires, what does transformation require? What does transformation require? It requires recognition of a state that you cannot recognize in separation. So I need to start seeing some things that I have never seen before. And I need to start having experiences that I've never had before that are based on love and oneness. Because transformation requires that you recognize a state or experience a state that's different from the state that you're in. While this is a paradox, it's not impossible for the simple reason that you never really left the state of unity just because you don't because I don't recognize that you are my father doesn't mean that doesn't mean that you're not my father because I don't recognize it. So if I'm connected to my father, if I don't recognize it, it doesn't mean I've ever left that state. So you haven't left the state of unity. You haven't left the state of oneness. You haven't left the state of love. You haven't left the state of being blessed. You haven't left the state of being innocent. You just don't recognize it. Just because when you think you have lost something, you really haven't lost it. It just means you don't know where it's located. It still exists. You just don't know where it's located. So you never left the state of unity that you may not even recognize. Your lack of recognition can be overcome. Now, your lack of recognition that you have never left God, the fact that you don't recognize you are perfect and that you're innocent and whole and complete all the time, Raj, that lack of recognition can be overcome. How do you overcome lack of recognition of who you are? By remembering the truth of who you are. If I don't remember that I'm Earl Purdy, how will I remember that I'm Earl Purdy? By remembering that I'm Earl Purdy. If I don't recognize that I'm Earl Purdy, how do I recognize that I'm Earl Purdy, by remembering that I'm Earl Purdy. So I need to be constantly reminded that I'm Earl Purdy. You're 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 not John Smith. You're not John Smith. You're Earl Purdy. You're Earl Purdy. You don't recognize you're Earl Purdy. So therefore I'm going to continually remind you that you're Earl Purdy until you remember that you're Earl Purdy. Well, that's what the course of love is saying to us. You're the holy child of God. You are love. You are love. You are love. You are love. You've forgotten that you are love. You are one. You are joined. You are unity. You are beautiful. You've forgotten it. You don't recognize it. It's true, but you don't recognize it. So how do you recognize it? Well, the easiest way to recognize it is to be constantly reminded of it. Did you notice I'm not doing any analyzing in this process? You're not John Smith, you're Earl Purdy. You're not John Smith, you're Earl Purdy. You're not John Smith, you're Earl Purdy. I notice I'm not analyzing why I thought I was John Smith, even though this whole chapter is explaining to us why we think we're separate. Because we wanted to have the experience of being separate. It's just that simple. The situation that you're in is because there's a part of you that wanted to have this experience. And it's an experience that's based on you thinking that you are separate. Okay. Just hang in there with me. We almost to home base. Okay. So your lack of recognition can thus be overcome by remembering the truth of what you are. So unifying thought is more than a matter of focus or single-mindedness. Although focus and single-mindedness are both steps in the right direction. Focus and single-mindedness are steps in the right direction. Unifying your thought is also a matter of integrating the thought, which is integrating the language of your heart with that which you more naturally perceive as thought, the words and images that go through your mind. So start letting the thoughts and the words and the images that go through your mind be more based on the idea of oneness. We talked briefly here about emotions. Doing so only to differentiate your feelings of love from your feelings of lack of love, and lack of love is fear. So what we have as yet talked even less about, however, is what are your emotions covering up. We're going to talk about the stillness that lies beneath your emotions. I referred to the true language of the heart as communion. What is communion? Communion is union. Communion is union. What kind of union? Communion is union of the highest level. That's a union of remembrance of who you are, being the means by which communion can be returned to you is by remembering who you really are. So what we're going to talk about now is integrating your remembering with your thinking. It's time to join your remembering with your thinking. While we spoke of what you think of as emotions are just reactions to bodily stimulus. Your emotions are just reactions of your body to stimulus. So we didn't speak of this stimulus itself. Before we do, we must clarify further the function of the body. So let's talk about the function of the body as a learning device. Let's talk about the function of the body as a learning device. Your body seems to experience pleasure and your body seems to experience pain. But the truth is your body is a learning device. So your body is actually neutral. Your body is neutral even though it seems like it experiences pleasure and pain. Your body doesn't experience anything. Your body only conveys that which can be experienced to you. In other words, you are constantly relaying a reaction back to your body. There's you, and then there's you that's giving reactions back to your body. Your body is conveying an experience, and then you are giving your reaction up to that experience back through your body. So this is a circular relationship. And it's a relationship between you and your body. And this relationship between you and your body is a perfect relationship for learning. That your body is neutral. It only is conveying what can be experienced to you. And then you then relay a reaction to that experience that the body is giving you back. So, this circular relationship between you and your body is the perfect relationship for the purpose of learning, since both the experience and the reaction to the experience, both your experience and your reactions to your experience can be learned from. You're learning from your experiences and you're learning from your reactions to your experiences, because the learner, who is you, can choose both the experience and the reaction to your experience. But your relationship with your body is not, however, the perfect relationship when you have perceived your body as your home. see, if you see your body as your home and as you are rather than as a learning device, then you no longer have a perfect relationship to your body and you have challenges with your body. Because when you have misperceived your body as being your home, then there, in a sense, there is no you. If you are the body, then there's no you that the body can give an experience to. So your body is trying to give you a learning experience. But if you think you are your body, there's nobody to give the learning experience to. And so the body seems to be in charge. The body seems to be both the experiencer and the body seems to be the interpreter of the experience. And also, this misperception of thinking that you are the body has allowed the body's real function to go unrecognized. Most people don't believe their body is just a learning device. They believe their body is everything but a learning device. And that's not a put down of the body. The body was made by God, and the body, I put it this way, the body is being used for the Creator as a learning, loving instrument. So we are allowing the real function of our body to go unrecognized. And so we have not recognized the truth of what causes pain. We haven't recognized that we can also reject the experience of pain. We can accept the experience of pleasure and we can reject the experience of pleasure. The body is reacting to stimuli and conveying that message to you, and then you then react to the experience, to the stimuli that the body is giving you. So the determination of pleasure and pain is made with the judgment of the separated self, who not only believes it is a body. See, we're the ones that are determining pain and pleasure from the judgment that we are separated selves. Then it looks like we're at the mercy of our body because we don't realize that we're the ones that are in charge of our bodies. We are not our bodies. We're the one that's in charge of our body. But the body has no mercy to offer to you because your body is just a learning device. You know, it's like if a knife is sort of like a coffee maker's device for making coffee, but it doesn't have mercy on you. It's not analyzing you. It doesn't have a psychological relationship to you. It's only a learning device. So your body can't give you any mercy because your body is just a learning device. You are giving yourself the experience through the body. And so you haven't recognized this. So that means you fail to learn that all you experience as painful, everything that you experience as painful, every single thing that you experience as painful is the result of feelings of lack of love. Pain is, I don't feel like I'm loved. Pain means I don't feel love. Pain means I don't feel freedom. Pain means I don't feel innocence. So learn that all you experience as painful is the result of feelings of lack of love, and that all you have experienced as pleasurable are feelings of love. All that you have ever experienced as pleasurable was a feeling of love. Everything that you see as pleasurable, that you have experienced as pleasurable, are feelings of love. I know this would seem to contradict what was said earlier about the pain experienced from love and your willingness to cling to the pain despite the pain that you are experiencing. But remember, pain doesn't come from feelings of love. Pain comes from feelings of love lost. Pain is coming from feeling like you have lost something. Pain is coming from the feeling of love lost. Pain is not coming from feelings of love. So having no one to receive and having no one to reject feelings of pain and replace them with feelings of love, that's what's causing all your distress. Because you identify with your body, then you don't realize that you're the one that can receive and you're the one that can reject feelings of pain. You're the one that can replace your feelings of pain with feelings of love. You can. Don't think that you react to pain of any kind with love from your real self that would dispel it. What does that mean? It means that love from your real self will dispel all pain. Love from your true self and for your true self will dispel all pain. Self-love will dispel all pain. The self that you've actually taken out of the learning loop, the self that you have taken out of the learning loop is the self of love. So it's time for your loving self to be put back in the learning loop. It's time for the self that you love to be put back in the learning loop. Wow, what an incredible section. I'm going to do a very quick, very short recap. And I want to thank you for tuning into the Course of Love with me. Don't forget that if you would love to support my teaching ministry, you can make a financial expression of appreciation at my website, earlpurdy.com. As a full-time teacher, this is my mission in the world. I thank you with all my heart and soul for being channels to share financial appreciation that allows me to keep doing this teaching ministry. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, I'm available for a one-on-one. Just think about that. We could actually have a one-on-one with each other, and I call those clarity sessions. Go to my website, and it explains everything about what I offer, including mentoring, because I'm here only to be truly helpful. I'm here to represent him who sent me. And don't forget, this music was johnchristmas.com. So, and go to my website. So let's do a quick recap. What I'd like right now is to ask a few of you to tell me, to say one takeaway that you've gotten from tonight's class. This was very powerful. The mind engaged. Casey says, all we experience as pain is the result of feeling a lack of love. That's a great takeaway. Dharma says, once you learn this, it makes all experiences better. Wow, we can reject the experience of pain. And Trish says, I haven't lost anything just because I can't locate it. So here comes a very good, wonderful, beautiful, short recap. So we were told at the very beginning that the story of Adam and Eve was an example of the idea of being able to fall from grace and be separate from God. But that's impossible because God is a loving God. Our Creator is loving. Our Creator would never kick us out of love, kick us out of paradise. But that belief was what caused the idea of separation. The idea of separation is the idea that we can be separate from each other and our source. We've been learning from the perspective that we are separate from each other and separate from our source. The world that we live in is a result of believing that we are separate from each other. And now we want to make the decision to learn from the perspective that we are joined and one with each other. And that will give us an experience of fulfillment and oneness and happiness and peace beyond anything we've ever experienced. So how do we change our beliefs from the belief that we are separate to the belief that we are one? Well, the first thing that we do is understand that the body was given to us by a loving Creator to be used as a learning device to remember who we really are. And that if we really want to change our beliefs, if you really want to change your beliefs, you have to give yourself an experience. An experience helps you change your beliefs much faster. So give yourself the experience of something if you want to change your beliefs faster. So we want to ask the universe now to give us the experiences that are the result of dedicating our thought to union. Dedicate our thought to union. Don't forget to dedicate your thought to union. Dedicate your thought to union. Dedicate your thought to union. And remember that your body is a learning device. Your body is a learning device. That it's giving you an experience, and you can learn from that experience, and you can have the experience, and you can have the reaction to the experience. The self of love in you can end all pain, because pain is just a lack of love. I say pain is just a lack of love. So as you love yourself, you will dispel your pain. And yourself is not your feelings, is not your emotions, is not your thoughts, but yourself is the one who experiences them. You are not your thoughts, you are not your feelings, you are not anything you see outside of you, but it's you that's experiencing it. Don't forget the analogy about the movie. You are projecting the movie of your life, and you have put yourself in the movie. But don't forget that there's the part of you that's sitting in the theater, the part of you is the projector, the part of you that's creating everything. But now you're going to say, I dedicate all thoughts to union. I dedicate all thoughts to union. I say we dedicate all thoughts to union. So mighty companions, thank you for so much tuning into this with me tonight. You are a blessing in my life. I'm so thankful to you. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you for being so damn cool and so loving and willing to learn with me from the idea that we are one. I appreciate you. Next Thursday, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, A Course of Love. 1 p.m. every Sunday, Mountain Time, A Course in Miracles. 7 p.m. Mountain Time every Tuesday evening is A Course of Love. Join me. Join me. And share these videos, please.